what the Buddha truly wanted to convey in the Heart Sutra, the emptiness of the five aggregates. Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about the Heart Sutra. Many of you may have heard of this sutra before. In Buddhism, it is a very important teaching, and though it is a short scripture of only 262 characters, it contains profound truths. At the center of it is the teaching of the emptiness of the five aggregates. Today, let's explore what this means and how it relates to our way of living. First, let's explain what the five aggregates in the emptiness of the five aggregates refers to. In Buddhism, it is believed that our existence is made up of five components. These are the five aggregates: form, sensation, perception, mental formations, and consciousness. Together, these five elements constitute how we sense, think, and act. Let's think about this in terms of our daily lives. For example, imagine a beautiful flower blooming in front of you. The first thing we do is see the flower, form, recognizing its presence. Then we feel that it is beautiful, sensation, and think, I want to decorate my home with this flower, perception. Next, we decide to buy the flower, mental formations. And finally, we judge whether our action was good or not, consciousness. This entire sequence of events happens unconsciously in many aspects of our daily lives. However, what the Buddha taught in the Heart Sutra is that all of these five aggregates are empty. In other words, the emptiness of the five aggregates means that all the sensations, emotions, and thoughts we experience are without substance. They are empty. We tend to perceive things as having a solid, fixed reality, but in truth, they are temporary and ever-changing. So, what exactly does emptiness mean? Emptiness indicates that nothing has an inherent or fixed existence. Everything is relative, and nothing is permanent. For instance, when an event occurs, how we feel about it differs from person to person. The same event might make one person sad, while another might not even care. In other words, the judgments we make about what is good or bad are nothing more than our own personal perceptions and values. By understanding this concept of emptiness, we can free ourselves from much of the suffering and worry that we experience. For example, when something bad happens, we often think, why is this happening to me? But from the perspective of emptiness, we realize that the event itself has no inherent good or bad quality, and it is entirely up to us how we perceive it. The Buddha taught the importance of letting go of attachment through the teaching of the emptiness of the five aggregates. Attachment is when we hold on tightly to things or situations, and when they don't go as we want, it causes suffering. For instance, if we are attached to money, status, or love, we may fear losing them, or feel discontent when we don't get them. But if we understand the concept of emptiness, we realize that these things are temporary, and not something we can hold on to forever. Now, let's look at a simple example to make this clearer. Imagine two shoe salesmen who go to a country where no one wears shoes. Both of them are shocked to see that no one in the entire country wears shoes. One salesman thinks, there's no way we can sell shoes here, while the other thinks, this country is an unlimited market. Even though both witnessed the same situation, their perceptions were entirely different. This example shows that how we perceive reality depends entirely on our own mindset, and that can lead to very different outcomes. This teaching is extremely useful in our daily lives. For instance, when we face a difficult situation, whether we perceive it as the worst thing ever or an opportunity to learn, can significantly change how we feel and how we act afterward. Moreover, another important point that the Buddha wanted to convey in the Heart Sutra is the importance of acceptance. Once we understand that everything is empty, our attachments begin to fade and we feel lighter. For example, when we face illness, failure, or even death, we often perceive these as unfortunate events. But if we can accept them as they are without resistance, the suffering associated with them greatly diminishes. Here, I would like to share a real-life story that the Buddha taught. About 2,500 years ago, while traveling, the Buddha met a woman. This woman, who was over 40 years old, had finally given birth to a child, but her baby tragically died just 3 days after being born. The woman, overwhelmed with grief, came to the Buddha, still holding her deceased child in her arms, and begged him, "Please bring my child back to life." The Buddha replied, "I will bring your child back to life, but first you must bring me a mustard seed from a house that has never lost a loved one." Believing his words, the woman went from house to house throughout the village. But she soon realized that every home had experienced the death of a loved one. Eventually, she returned to the Buddha and understood the truth. Death comes to everyone. Through this realization, she was able to accept her child's death. This story illustrates how the Buddha taught the concept of emptiness to the people, no matter how painful a situation might be. By letting go of our attachments and accepting it, we can find peace of mind. In your daily life, you too may face many difficulties and sufferings. But each time, remember the teaching of the emptiness of the five aggregates. Nothing has inherent meaning, and how we perceive events depends on our own mindset. To free ourselves from suffering and attain peace, it is important to let go of attachments and embrace the teaching of emptiness. Thank you for watching until the end. I hope we can continue to explore the profound teachings of Buddhism together in the next video. Until then, take care, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.